to you by our exclusive fabric partners. Be sure to look for their newest lines of fabric.
Hi, welcome to Quiltmakers Block Network. I'm Carolyn Beam with Quiltmaker Magazine. Today I'm going to share with you Carnaby, block number 965, designed by Stephanie Carter for Quiltmakers 100 Blocks Volume 10. I'm going to show you how to use the Tri-Rex ruler to cut triangles. For this block you're going to need 7 fabrics, 3 that are very light and 4 that are medium to dark. You can find the cutting dimensions for these patches on the right side of your screen. If you'd like to write these down, please pause your video now. For this block you're going to need triangle squares. So the first thing I did here was pair a pink and a very light together and I drew a diagonal line down the center and then sewed 1/4 inch out from each side of this diagonal line. What you'll do now is cut on the diagonal line and flip these open for your triangle square. You'll need 8 with this color combination and 4 with this color combination. These are the 2 fabrics that are going to make the triangles that we're going to use the Tri-Rex ruler to cut. The triangles will finish at 4 inches, so I've cut strips 4.5 inches wide for both the red and this light fabric. The Tri-Rex rulers come with 2 different shapes of triangles, one like this and one like this. And you'll notice on the back of this one that I've put a few sandpaper dots, and that's just to help the ruler not slide when I'm trying to position it on the fabric. So for this red strip that I've layered wrong sides together, I'm going to use this triangle to cut out the patches. And I've lined the 4.5 inch mark on the ruler with one edge of the strip, and it lines up just perfectly on the other side. I'm going ahead and cut one side. And I like to use a revolving mat so I can just rotate it to cut the other side, but you can also just move your mat around as well. I'm going to cut the other side like this, and I have 2 triangles. Now you can just go ahead and repeat this across the strip that you've got here by positioning right along the cut line like this and just cutting here and then rotating the ruler and cutting like this all the way across your strip. I've got my other strip here that I'm going to cut the smaller triangles. And again, I've got this layered wrong sides together, and you want to cut your fabrics this way because you'll have mirror images of the patches. So I line the ruler up again, 4.5 inch line fits on one side of my strip, and the other edge is just flush with the top of the strip. So I'm cutting one side here. Now you'll notice that there's a little notch at the top of this ruler. It's very important to cut that little notch. Then I'm going to rotate my mat around and cut the other side of my patches. And what I have here are 2 mirror images, like this. And you just go ahead and cut in the same way across the strip of fabric. To sew these together, you've got your large triangle in the middle and then the mirror images on either side. And the way you're going to line these up is to take the large triangle, position the smaller triangle so that the notches at this end line up with the flat side of the patch. And on here you can see the edge of the red triangle lines up right with that corner right there. Then you're going to sew these together like this. To add the other side, you want to go ahead and line up the notch again with the corner of the triangle. And the triangle at the tip here now will just lay flush with the triangle from the patch that you just sewed. And go ahead and sew along this line. You'll sew 4 of these triangles together. And then you'll arrange your patches just like this. You have your triangle squares that you sewed earlier. Sew 2 together, 2 patches together, and that's going to make 1 corner of the block. You'll make 4 of those. You sew these 4 triangles together to make the pinwheel in the center, and then sew the patches and units into rows. Sew the 3 rows together. And here's your finished block. Now let's look at a couple of designs using this block. The first layout shows a 4x4 layout with the blocks set next to each other. An interesting secondary design is formed at the block intersections. Here the block is set alternately with 12-inch finished triangle squares. The design formed when the blocks intersect looks like little ribbons. You can find Carnaby and 99 other amazing blocks in Quiltmakers 100 Blocks Volume 10. Thanks for joining us today on Quiltmakers Block Network. I hope to see you next time.